Hello, hello, hello. Whew. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Well, I guess that answers that question. How long does it take for a baby boomer to go and pee and come back well, anyway, uh, I tried to do what I needed to do in between starting the opening. Oh, man, I shouldn't move like that. I could injure myself. Connie Balmer! Connie Balmer! Thank you so much for being here, Connie Balmer. And Fancy, thank you for being here. Shelly L, thank you. Noreen Bengali, thanks. Lydia Washington. All right. And let me see. Is it Scott Goth? Scott Goth? Goth. Thank you so much for being here. And let me see who else is here. Joy Amore. Today has been a long day for me. Thank God, giving me strength and energy. I'm working extra days so I can have some money repair a car. I feel I'm helping others by showing up, taking care of their needs. Oh, thank you so much for being here, Joy Amore. But yeah, um, I think one of the things I've always enjoyed the most in life is, how do I put this? Is to be able to help other people. But we have to be careful not to burn ourselves out trying to do too much, learning to say no when we need to say no. So I think everything needs an evaluation at a certain point. How much can I do and still take care of myself? You know what I mean? So that's what you need to keep in mind. So, anyway, don't burn yourself out. Whatever you do, don't burn yourself out. Some of those things will keep, I promise. But everybody's situation is different, right? Right. Let me see who else is here. Alicia is here. Lottie is here. Hey, Lottie. And let me see. Amaka Amachukwa. Chukwu. Yes, thank you so much for being here. And Jelaine Monesta. You know what? I'm just going to go all the way down to the bottom and see who was here last. How's that? Okay. Hi, Lorna Williams. All right, Faith. Oh, no, Brenda Lee. Okay, thank you so much. All right, very cool. Very cool. Okay, nurse, wife, mother, you're here last. All right, thank you. So, believe it or not, I have all my slides ready. Thank you, Cynthia Henderson. Thank you so much. Um, all right, let me do this then. By the way, William's looking a little green around the gills, isn't he? Oh, poor William. He's like aging rapidly. Must be all that anger. Oh, Tina Turner. So I was like, let me find a really special photo of Tina to share. And that's the one I come up with. Please take a moment. Tell us your favorite Tina Turner song. I would say that is impossible for me because I love so much of her music. And I guess everybody is going to say, well, Proud Mary. Okay, that goes without saying. And of course, per copyright, we can't play any here. But I'm going to say that. And I don't know. I love so many of her songs, to be honest with you. I go through like a phase, like Simply the Best, right? And oh gosh, what was that other song of hers I was like stuck on for a while? Oh man. Yeah, the best, right? Simply the best. Oh, much better. Private Dancer. Something tells me that there's one particular squatty Why do I imagine her singing that song to Nacho? I could imagine one particular squatty singing that song to Nacho. Um, I won't say who, but I can just imagine. I could just imagine at least one squatty that would love to sing that to Nacho. Oh man. Wow, a lot of private dances, huh? What's love got to do with it? Um, oh man. Okay. Well, uh, I don't know. I like so many of them. So I have to say that the easy answer is Proud Mary. But then after that, um, oh, okay. I'm gonna tell you that last song of hers I was stuck on. Remember she did that cover of what's that song from Prince? I'm a star. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You might not like me now. Well, anyway, that one I got stuck on for a while. Love that song because I'm a star. Oh man, I love that song. But yeah, so there's been a few of them. There's been a few. Let me see here. So I am seeing. Oh, you're just a fool. Whoa, there's something on my mind. Won't you tell me, please? Please tell me what's wrong. Boom, 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 boom. You're just a fool. You know you're in love. What you say? Oh, man. Nutbush City Limits. Okay. I have to say that was not one of my favorites. That wasn't. I don't know. That song just it had a good beat to it, but it was just a weird song. Outhouse Gin House. I was just like, nah, not that one. But I respect your choice. But I don't know. That song just kind of like, and I guess I shouldn't say that because wasn't that the only one that she ever wrote, or the one that she was most famous for writing? Oh, Lorna Williams says, I met Tina Turner before she had her second career revival. Um, she used to play the Royal York Hotel in Toronto all the time. Lovely woman. May she rest in peace. Thank you for sharing that story. Yeah, she was all legs, wasn't she? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Um, Okay, remember she did that thing where she went strutting into the theater? When you call me, you need me. Remember how she got out the limousine? Do you know how many times I have watched that? And that was simply the best, right? I love that little strut she had when she got out that limousine, and they were only just showing her legs, right? And she's walking in the theater. You call me, you need me. I watched that over and over. I love that. Yeah, quite the show person, right? And I'm so glad that she had that amazing, solid, um, like loving relationship. Uh, I guess she was in that relationship longer than she was with Ike, right? I think so. And the guy donated a kidney for her. And I remember, and every time I think about this, I always get emotional because it was just when she said that her husband had told her that he wanted to donate a kidney, and she's just like, "Oh, I don't want you to do that. I'm already old. I've had a good life. I'm not afraid. I've lived my life." And this is when my voice starts trembling. He said, I don't have a life without you. I don't want to live a life without you. take the kidney. How how amazing is that? I have no life without you. How amazing is that? I mean, every time I think about that, I get the chills. I mean, that's what you want to hear from your partner. I don't want to know what life is like without you. And I'm just like, you know what? For everything she went through, thank God for that. I mean, two things. She's got him and she lives in Switzerland. How much better does life get? How much better could it be? You have him and you're living in Switzerland, one of the happiest places on earth. Speaking of which, Connie Palmer, thank you so much for the. Oh, sorry, is that okay? There we go. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and being a member of Royal Sussex. And if anybody can tell you what life is like in Switzerland, Connie Balmer can. Connie Balmer is in Switzerland, the land of Tina. So there you go. Now, I had a friend that wasn't sure that she saw Tina Turner, but she was doing a connecting flight and she was in Switzerland connecting to another flight. And she said that she believes she saw Tina Turner going through customs. So um, there was a bit of a fuss around this lady, but she just wasn't sure. I'm like, if that wasn't Tina Turner, who else could it have been? Connie Balmer. But no, but that's an amazing story. I'm just like, I am just gonna say it for you. If you want to doubt yourself, fine. But that couldn't have been anybody else but Tina Turner. I mean, people fussing and stuff like that, like in awe, watching her and running up to her and all like, well, not running up to her, but you know what I mean. Yeah, that had to be Tina Turner. So very good. Yeah, she found true love, right? That, I mean, how amazing is that? I don't have a life without you. I don't want to know what life is like without you. Take the kidney. And then too, I have to say, for her part, that she tried to refuse it. I mean, that was very thoughtful. I mean, there's no such thing as like zero risk surgery. It does not exist. So for her to say, "Look, I've lived my life. Thank you, but no, thank you. You're young. You this, you that. I don't want your kidney." And I don't know how many people would refuse. You know, how many people would refuse a chance to have more life? But that just goes to show that obviously she has had this amazing experience and that she just did not care if it was going to be over soon. I've lived my life, but um, that bought her quite a few more years. But she's been very, um, she's been struggling with her health. And so, yeah, fortunately, she doesn't have to do that anymore. But yeah, she's been struggling. And I think she had had a stroke, if I'm correct. I think she had had a stroke. So yeah, it hasn't been, it's been like one thing after the other. So, but thank goodness for Tina Turner. And yes, Connie Barmer says life is good in Switzerland. So there you go. As close as I get to Switzerland is a Ricola. Well, no, I changed trains in Switzerland one time. And when I found out that they have sausages, I, of course, after going through Germany and eating one sausage after the next, I was like, I got room for another one. There's always room for sausage. That doesn't sound weird. Let me see here. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much, you guys, for sharing your favorite Tina Turner songs. And yes, rest in power, rest in peace, rest in heaven. Thank you, Tina Turner, for the inspiration, for the music, for everything. Our sausages are the best, simply the best. All right. All right. Oh, man. Yeah. That fresh, clean air, the Alpine, is it Alpine Mountains? Okay. And one more. There we go. Gotta have one of Tina. And you know what? I love that look for her. That I think that was where she had like the 3/4 length pants on and the white shirt. Very, very cool. I mean, it was just like, I'm here to work, y'all. I'm here to work. Nothing flashy about it, but it looks so elegant on her. And I think that was a concert when she was on the I think like some type of riser or something where she could like go all the way out into the audience and back. I think that was that particular concert, but man, and you know Cher is going to have something amazing to say about her. You know, I don't follow Cher on Twitter, but let me see if I can find something on Twitter from Cher. I'd be interested. She and Cher said the nicest thing about her one time that I recall, and she said that when she first met Tina Turner, she thought that that stage persona was, that was Tina Turner, and she says when she met Tina Turner, Tina had on this like very elegant chic pantsuit and hat and everything. And she's like, and there I am, dressed like whatever she said. And she also said, that Tina Turner was such a lady. And she said, and here I am cussing like a sailor. I thought that was very nice of her to describe it like that. But yeah, that was some time ago that I heard her uh, mention that about Tina Turner. So, okay, it doesn't look like Cher has posted anything in some time. If this is her account, yeah, it's a blue check mark, but what does that mean anymore? Yeah, she hasn't posted anything about Tina Turner yet. I think her last post was the 20th of May. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what she has to say about it. But yeah, man, Tina Turner, powerhouse. Better be good to me. And that's how it's gonna be now. 'Cause I don't have no use for what you used to call the truth. 'Cause you better be good to me. Be good to me. Yeah, simply the best. Thank you, Anastasia Isabella. Yeah, I feel like I lost a friend. Yeah, because I mean it's just Tina Turner has been there for so long. It's just like, oh man, Tina Turner? Cause she was just so full of life. You just don't expect, when a person is so full of life, it's just like, how could they not be around anymore? But she will live on in her music forever. Oh, we don't need another hero. Yeah, Beyond the Thunderdome. Welcome. What did she say? Welcome to Thunderdome. Oh man, the memories are flooding back, right? The memories are flooding back. And I remember they showed the house that she and um, Ike lived in. Someone had bought the house, and I believe it still had like this round sofa. And anyway, it was a really nice house. And gosh, I don't know, they hadn't lived in that house together all those years, but still, there was a lot of the elements of the house was still intact. I would have loved to have purchased Tina Turner's house. And of course, you know, what I loved about Tina is Tina didn't look back. Tina was very forward looking. With Tina Turner, she did not want to live in the past, and she didn't want to sing all those bluesy songs. She knew, and this just goes to show the genius of Tina Turner. She knew that the energy of rock and roll was the right direction to go. And that's what she did. And you got to love her for that because she knew. She just knew. She didn't want to sing all those sad songs and all that kind of stuff. She wanted to turn the energy up. And I'm going to tell you, one of what song was it? Brian Adams. She had did a duet with Brian Adams. Cause it's only love, and that's all. I love that song. When your heart has been broken, harsh words have been spoken. Cause it's only love, and that's all. I love that song. Very. I mean, it's just like not the kind of music I would normally listen to, but they rocked it and I loved it. Let me see. Okay, so thank you everybody. Um Feels good to get that out, you know? Really feels good to get that out. I tell you, what a community. You guys always seem to know. And remember, whatever way you participate in the community, if you're just out there listening, or if you're able to, I don't know, start a channel of your own, if you make comments, or maybe you donate to some of the charitable causes that we have promoted, whatever your contribution um, is greatly appreciated because it's all part of a much larger community. So, um, thank you for that. Okay. Let me see here. Please don't make me sing. You just want me to sing something, don't you? I'm not okay, just a little. Big wheels keep on turning. Pride Mary keeps on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Do 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 do. Listen, you know I'm triggered by certain words. Please don't make me sing. I don't want to sing. All right, just a little bit more. Um, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to sing. We got stuff to cover. So, and we're rolling, whoo, rolling, whoo, rolling on the river. Let me tell you. Oh man. Yeah. Okay, okay. So I have to say the all-time favorite has got to be Proud Mary. I mean, it's just got to be, right? It's got to be Proud Mary. It never ever gets old. So plus well, okay, the song never gets old, but I'm not able to kick anymore, okay? At least I'm not able to kick with the left leg. I can still yeah. Oh, Big Mama. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Baron, glad your sinuses are better today, or you would sound weird. I don't know that I don't sound weird today. I always sound weird to me. It's, I've gotten used to hearing my own voice though. Um, you know how sometimes you hear your own voice and you get a little self-conscious, but I'm better with that now. I'm just like, I don't even notice it anymore. But yeah, but thank you so much, Big Mama. Let me see here. Rolling on the river. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, that's a good song when you need that little extra energy to clean, right? All right, so I just threw that in there because the Royals are having so much trouble traffic wise. And I want you guys to recall that day that the Marine One helicopter landed at the Windsor Castle. And much to the shock and dismay of the Secret Service, they found out that the Duke of Windsor was actually going to drive them to the house. So they didn't have the beast. They landed the helicopter, and well, the Obamas was met by the Queen and Prince Philip, and it was just like this. I'm going to just tell you guys, this is like a first. Everything about that situation was unique, and it caused panic for the Secret Service. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, the Secret Service will break the president's ribs trying to stuff him inside of his vehicle if something went down. Okay. If there was some type of emergency, you can be like in the middle of a speech or something like that, and they are going to grab the president by the collar and by the belt and whisk them through a situation. That is how protective they are. And it's just unusual. Biden actually is I think Biden is like the only president I've seen drive probably ever. Presidents usually just don't drive. The Secret Service prefer they don't. And Biden keeps testing vehicles and stuff. Um, I don't know. Maybe they changed their policy about that, but you'll be amazed at how the president of the United States can be manhandled by the Secret Service. So when they said, because they didn't know, it was not anything that was arranged in advance. I guess they thought they were just going to walk to the castle or something like that. And next thing you know, they're like, you got to find the video. It is too funny. They're just ushering them toward the car. And Obama's like, oh. And he later on he said, okay, well, I've never been driven by a Duke before. But yeah, it was hilarious. That is just something that never happened. So, and of course, this is the same Prince Philip that flipped his car that time. Well, this was before that car accident. So, but anyway, we're going to talk some more about that later. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. But, oh, Joya Moore, I don't know where you're located, but I know that there is a volcano in Mexico, and there's also wasn't there like a big brush fire in Canada? So and it's that time of year, so yeah, I think everybody's kind of, if you're prone to allergies, this is the time of year. Let's see. Patricia Smith says, Baron, you have Prince Philip rolling in his grave. You called him the Duke of Windsor instead. Oh, that's right, the Duke of Edinburgh. Oh, you're right. I don't know how I did that. And when I said it, it sounded strange coming out of my mouth, and I didn't think about it. But yes, you're right. The Duke of Windsor was, what was it, Edward the Eighth? That was the Queen's uncle, the one that abdicated. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the wrong Duke. Duke of Edinburgh. Didn't they make up that title for him? Was he the first Duke of Edinburgh? Wasn't that just like one that was invented just for him? Let me see, Baron. That story of Tina Turner's second husband saying he can't live without her. Take the kidney tears. Is it tears? I couldn't have lived off. Ike was he was very small, And Ike used a lot of party favors in his days. So um, I tell you, I would not want a kidney from Ike Turner. I'd have to be in real bad shape to want a kidney from Ike Turner. I mean, every time you no, I wouldn't want an Ike Turner kidney. Ugh, those kidneys have been through a lot, a lot. But yeah, let's see here. Helen Thompson says, Baron, don't know who you are on about. However, definitely not the Duke of. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a slip, certainly. Let me see here. Uh oh, so the cottonwood trees are now blowing this year. Oh, so is the cottonwood trees the ones that has that have those things like floating in the air? I remember when I was in Las Vegas visiting my aunt, and everything was covered in yellow, and that gave me like respiratory issues. Let me see. Philip wasn't allowed to drive on public roads as he had no driver's license. He could only drive on the estates. The one time he drove on a public road, he caused an accident. Oh, actually, Jose, that is not true. Oh, I was about to call him William. What is it with me and names today? Philip actually owned a black cab that he used to whiz around London in. He had a black cab. Um, he bought it so that he can discreetly travel around the city without drawing any attention to himself. So he did have that black cab. He drove. He definitely drove, and not just on private roads. I think later in life he was driving in between the estates, but prior to that, oh, he used to drive. Oh, he even had a pilot's license. Philip could pilot a plane. So yeah, he drove the city streets. Okay. Family, I'm at the emergency room with my father. I had to call the ambulance today and take him to the ER. I'll keep you updated. Well, cookies and creams, thank you so much. And we will keep everyone in our prayers. You, your father, definitely will keep you in our prayers. Thank you so much for letting us know that. And we will be here for you. So I pray everything goes well. Let me see here. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Take that away. So, Sophie's police car hit me and drove off, claims woman. The Countess of Wessex, at the time, of course, has been drawn into an extraordinary row. Remember, I thought that was row. I kept saying, why did they say row? You know, that's not an American thing. A row. It says row, but okay. Was in an extraordinary row over a minor car crash when she was on an official visit. And this happened back in March the 29th, 2019. Remember? I don't, because I don't think there was much said about it. And up there it says, moment police car driving Sophie Wessex turned to hit receptionist car before driving away to leave her with a repair bill of several £100s. They didn't even fix her car. I don't know that they ever fixed it. The Peugeot, driven by Jill Walker, 59, from Birmingham, was clipped by a 4x4. Can you believe that? They smashed this woman's car and just kept going. Jill Walker, a 59-year-old receptionist from Birmingham, claims the vehicle which hit her car sped off because one of the passengers was the Countess of Wessex. Now, please tell me what emergency, what urgency is there to getting the Countess of Wessex Sophie, I came into this family penniless Wessex. What is the point of getting? I mean, if something was to happen, do you think anybody pans the room and say, "Is there a Sophie Wessex in the house? Is there a countess in the house? Is there a penniless PR person who ran their business into the ground in the house?" I don't think so. Nobody, there's no urgency for Sophie Wessex. None. Who needs Sophie Wessex? She's not a first responder. She was the Countess of Wessex. So there's no urgency for Sophie Wessex ever. Oh, by the way, thank you so much, CV. Thank you so much for the Cash App. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Wednesday to you. But I don't know when was the last time I had some emergency and I looked around and said, "Excuse me, are you the Countess of Wessex?" So, what is the emergency for her? What's the urgency to get her anywhere? Do you know that she could mingle into most crowds of people and nobody would know who she is? As a matter of fact, nobody knows who Edward is. It is Edward, right? Yeah, Andrew's the other one. Yeah, I always mix those two names up. So nobody even know who's Edward. They don't know those people. They their safety, their safety comes from the fact that people don't even realize the queen had four children. Most people, including people that went to school with Edward, thinks the there's people that went to school with Edward that doesn't even know that his mother was the Queen of England. Nobody knows. So, if that's the case, why are they always in such a hurry to get Sophie from point A to point B? I don't get it. There's no urgency there. I guess maybe that's part of the prestige. Maybe that's it. If you have the police escort, then it makes you seem more important. Unknown, but important. So I don't know. I don't get it. It does. It seems like a bunch of fuss about nothing, trying to get her someplace fast. So, Matthews, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Thanks, family. Love you guys. They're going to admit him. We'll keep you updated. Very, very good. Thank you so much. And Joan Garcia says, Baron, my Tina LP, Tina and a 12-inch single of go and the 12-inch single go way back. My LP, Tina and a 12. Oh, that's the My Tina. Is that the name of the album? My Tina? Or is it, or are you just saying your Tina LP? 12-inch single. I didn't know she had any 12-inch songs. I did not know that. What song was that? Please tell me because I would love to hear that. But thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, Joan Garcia. Let me see here. Hello, everyone. Let me see. Let's see if the British media will interview Sophie's driver like they did with the New York taxi driver. Well, the Met Police has expressed their sadness about the loss of the Helen, whatever her name was, right here. There it is. Oh, by the way, you guys, take a look at the yellow up there. One of the squatties posted this yesterday. This article has been deleted. I suspect it's because the witness statement made the mayor and Charles III looked reckless and really at fault for the death of this very friendly and once lively woman who was filled with life and energy. So, this article, and it's so small, you guys, I'm not even going to try to see that, but this article was removed. They deleted the article, okay? They deleted it. However, someone from the Sussex Squad Detective Agency actually archived it, or they found it in the archives. So it still exists. And I don't know why they took it down, except for, like they said, there seems to be some kind of inconsistency with a witness statement, or, yeah, a witness statement. Let me see. I want to see if I can enlarge that a bit. Let me see the part down there in the red. He told Mail Online. Okay, let me see if I can find that, because I did screenshot the archive just in case that comes up missing. Okay. Can you guys see that? Because I can't. Okay. He told the Mail Online after the accident, this was an accident waiting to happen. The screens had been put up for the coronation. The screens had been put up for the coronation, but it meant that you had to step out a bit into the road to see any traffic. I don't know what screens they're talking about. It must have been something that went up for the coronation that was not removed yet. I was there soon after it happened, and it was carnage. The poor lady was flung about 40 feet along the road, and paramedics were attending to her. So, this is someone who didn't see the exact accident, but saw a possible or alleged obstruction of some sort that was there per coronation, and that may have been one of the aggravating factors, perhaps. She stepped out a bit to peer around the screen and was hit. He added, there have been a lot of near misses there recently. I don't know what screens they're talking about. What screens? Anyway, that is the reason why the article is no longer there. But if you guys know what screens they're talking about, what screen? I don't know what screen. Uh, Let me see here. He added there have been a lot of near misses. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what screens they're talking about. So, yeah, if you guys can figure that out, let me know. Oh, you know what? I think in that one photo, you see where it looks like a big box and they have something laying on the ground. I wonder what they used those for. But yeah, so apparently there was some kind of obstruction that caused the pedestrians to have to step out. So I don't know. They'll probably have a coroner's inquest. Be interesting to know. But yeah, 10 grandchildren. Is that what I heard? She had 10 grandchildren? Okay, I think I see. Yeah, it's some kind of screen, but it doesn't say what they used them for. Locals claim that the black screen placed around a square brick electricity unit closed close to the crossing as part of an attempt to decorate the area for the coronation meant pedestrians were unable to see oncoming traffic. Oh, yeah. So whatever that brick structure is, you see, whatever that little brick structure, that whatever they said it was, they put a decorative screen around it, and when she peered around that screen, that's when she got hit. Wow. Wow. That's very sad. So anyway, this is what I saved right here. That is the archived version of it, and that is what they attempted to delete. But once it goes out there, anything you put out there, it stays out there. So very sad. And then what happened? Well, Sophie decides to make a secret trip to Iraq. Duchess of Edinburgh spends 2 days in Baghdad. Palace reveals on fact-finding mission about protecting women and girls' rights. So I'm going to tell you what I think about this. Okay, bravo for the newly minted Duchess of Edinburgh. Bravo for her that she's doing something like that. I'm glad for her. But one does have to ask the question, are they simply trying to elevate her stature so that she can be a more credible senior royal? Because I promise you guys, people, I know it sounds like I'm just kidding. Nobody knows who she is. Nobody knows who she is. She was prevented and I really do believe that she wants to be more visible and she wants to be more relevant. But I don't think that they ever would give her the opportunity to do that because of the fear of outshining the rest of them. Or maybe she never cared in the first place. I don't know. But there's only so much you can do. And this is why I'm so glad that Megan left that institution. I believe they made promises to Megan about having a platform that was consistent, that would help her continue the work that she was already doing. And once Megan started doing things too well, then they decided she's too visible. Can you be a little less? Um, you're in the papers too much. You're the focus of attention. We need you to be about half of what you are right now. Even when she wasn't around for like 5 months, she's on maternity leave. And there's all these articles, and there was nothing she could do about that. She had no control over it. So even if even if that is who Sophie Wessex is, someone who wants to be more visible and to have these platforms, notice that they always send her out of the country. When she was doing the thing with the vision loss, she had to go out of the country. This, she's out of the country. She's not ever allowed to really shine there. They don't want her to. So, um, she's stuck. She's stuck. She's just stuck. Um, and she'll spend the rest of her life walking behind someone who doesn't deserve to have someone next to her, let alone behind her. She has to be second fiddle to Kate Middleton for the rest of her life. So let me see here. Annie Bullard says that unroyal family needs to be held accountable. Someone's family is in mourning because of them. Sophie is going. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't highlight that. There you go. Thank you very much, Annie Bullard. And let me see here. Ava Langren says Sophie is going around like she is the head of state to run her errands. Sophie is a hazard, and her and Edward needs to reach out to this woman's family. But they're not going to ever. Um, they're not going to acknowledge this woman other than what they've done so far. They don't like to acknowledge. They certainly won't apologize to the woman. Big Mama says, Baron, think about it. She's on a surprise secret visit to Iraq. If Iraq is in London, she's hiding out after that woman died and she ran over. You don't have surprise visits. Um I mean, I don't doubt that she's there. I just doubt the real intention of it. I think they're trying to bolster her image, just like when she went to New York that time. Why was Sophie Wessex in New York? You can have a diplomat do the same things. So she's going to Iraq on a fact finding mission. Facts about what? That's one of the things that the royals, okay, Andrew, I've heard him say that. Um, and I'm okay, so we're hearing this about her. And actually, those are about the only two people I've ever heard say that. Andrew was saying, "Oh, well, what I was doing was so important," and his relationship with Epstein. There's a lot of things that he made it sound like there was a lot of international diplomacy that was happening with him. And with Sophie Wessex, she's not saying this directly, but the intention is she's on a fact finding mission. And as a royal, and Princess Anne said that before, has in so many words said that listening to people's troubles. But what happens after that? Nothing. They're not bringing any financial aid. They're not bringing any gifts. They don't do much of anything. And as much as it might bother some people to admit it, Charles, at least with his prince's trust, wherever the money came from, he was still doing something. He was still giving something. But the rest of them, it's just hello and goodbye. Hello and goodbye. It'll be interesting too to see what William does with this big financial windfall of inheriting the Duchy of Cornwall. It'll be interesting to see what he does with it. Oh, YM Droid has a super chat. As if Iraq hasn't suffered enough. Oh, they sent Sophie. Oh my goodness, that is too funny. I know what you mean though. I mean, they have suffered a great deal and then enters Sophie Wessex. That is too much. Take a look there. You can see mowed down family of. Now you guys told me OAP. What does that mean? Uh, anyway, that means something about a older person, right? OAP 83 knocked down by Kate Middleton and Prince William's royal convoy, says she could have been killed and slam biker for driving too fast. So this also happened in 2019. Let me see. So Sophie's incident, when did that happen? When did Sophie happen? Okay. Oh, let me see right here. Okay, so the first one happened March 29th, 2019. And then by June 19th, 2019, this happened. Can you believe both of these happened in 2019? And I don't know that I have any, well, I know I don't have any recollection of it. I don't think anybody recalls these. They knocked this woman down. So, okay, I get the other place, the intersection was bad. What is the excuse with this one? I mean, is there a bounty on pensioners? Is there like a bounty on pensioners and nobody's saying? This is I tell you what, if you're in central London and you're a pensioner, be careful because the royal family is out for blood. Let me see. Leg says, "What's up with this performative nonsense? Why go? I'm tired of these. I am still learning. I am on a fact finding mission, etc." Pathetic. Amen to that. There is nothing the royal family does. These so called slim down monarchy, there is nothing. How does the United States function without the royal family to cut ribbons? How does France, how does Germany, how does all of these big economies function without the royal families to cut the ribbons? How is it? And it only costs the public about 350 million pounds per year. That the Republic, they said that figure that they give about 100 million pounds, that is not the real number. The real number has to include security and transportation. The number that they give is what it takes to support the Crown Estate. They're not really assessing how much it costs the public. That number is is just a given number. It is not the real number. And there you go. This is the, let me see. I want to, yeah, this is the one that that Will and Kate ran down. This is her situation, and that's the woman right there. So, and they're not talking about it. They you if this was Harry and Meghan, they would have strung together every possible related story so that they could link it all together and show that, or should I say, imply that there is some pattern of destruction because they just want attention or because they want their privacy or something like that. But here, no mention of any other incidents from 2019. There's two other situations where pensioners have been run over by the motorcades, and the tabloids have made no mention of it. So that is odd. You would think that the way they do things, remember they found out the song that the Sussexes had for their wedding, and then all of a sudden, Wilson Pickett's drug history became a big story in the Daily Mail. Someone who's been dead for years, and everything about Wilson Pickett was laid to bear so that people can have some kind of negative connotation to contribute to the Sussexes. That was the whole point of it. Let me see. Patricia Smith says Baron William is going to bankrupt the Duchy of Cornwall in no time at all. Charles took how many years to build it? We'll see how long till William destroys it. And you know, Patricia, to your point, Charles tried to get William involved with the Prince's Trust, and William showed absolutely no interest. William, being as lazy as he is, showed absolutely no interest in the Prince's Trust. All of this is likely new to him. And so, what's going to happen is he'll have someone else manage it for him, and he can continue to look important. But he won't be in the capacity of making any decisions. I could assure you of that. Thank you for your comment. And of course, my favorite, the Duke of Hazard. The Duke of Hazard, who literally broke a woman's arm because look at what he did to her car. Look at what Philip, look at what Philip did to her car. And that's not the worst of it. You ought to see his car. This poor woman was on This Morning with Phil and Holly, I think it was. And she said that she heard nothing from the palace. She did not get an apology. She was very, very pissed. I mean, she was angry. She is literally sitting there with her arm in a sling and telling the world about how Philip just shot right out there in traffic. He didn't hesitate. He was crossing over from one estate to the other and hit a car. And his car was upside down. And much to his credit, though, I have to tell you, he's a tough old one. Nothing happened to him. He was a little bruised, but that was it. He was a little bruised, did not require any hospitalization or anything like that. He was just fine. But after that, that's when they finally took his license away from him. Yep, they finally took his license away. So, remember I made this Philip the Duke of Hazard. Oh man, that poor woman. She was on television. She was quite salty about the fact that he broke her arm. Poor thing. I mean, how many people, and of course, this was before he drove President Obama, but how many people can say that Prince Philip broke my arm? Oh man, poor lady. Just a good old prince, never meaning no harm. Yippee-yi-yay. And that, of course, is Philip's car. I mean, the side curtain airbags deployed, he rolled it over. I don't know how many 90 something year old men have rolled over a vehicle, but I know at least one. I know at least one. And of course, the official word from the palace was that the sun caught his eyes. He didn't see her for the sun. Now, you guys, this is Mayor Adams, Eric Adams, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, downplays lynching of Jordan Neely. The tactic of assassinating the character of a murder victim was used relentlessly by lynch mobs and media outlets throughout the 19th and 20th century, according to the Equal Justice Initiative. So, Eric Adams, the same mayor who downplayed the Sussexes being chased by the paparazzi, the man who introduced the term high speed chase before anybody else, as far as I know, um, it is said that Eric Adams is downplaying. As a matter of fact, don't recall seeing him on television or anything speaking out about it. And that's because he wants to be mayor more than he ever wants to uplift and uphold the truth about situations that have happened to people. And that also includes, you know, people in the African American community. But you got to remember, you guys, Eric Adams was in law enforcement before he was mayor. So he doesn't really want to shed anything, any kind of light, should I say, that is going to make New York City look bad. So when I saw this, I was just like, I'm not surprised. Somehow that does not surprise me. Um, I'm sure he's a nice person. I'm sure he's doing a good job. However, it is pretty sad that with everything that happened, that the Sussexes could not count on any support from him. And I just get the feeling that if Mayor de Blasio was there, it would have probably have come out a little differently. Um, but I think Eric Adams wants to make sure that he's appealing to the greater public, and he just doesn't want to isolate any voters. So he took a pass on it. And just like the same way with this situation, there is no like I don't think there's much of an outcry from the mayor's office about this. And if you guys aren't familiar with this case, This is the homeless street performer. He was, I, he had some kind of incident with some passengers on the train, and the interpretation was he was being aggressive with other passengers. And then this former Marine, I think he was, the one that you can see in the photo there, which I do apologize for the photo because it is a bit jarring, but um, he literally choked him to death. He suffocated this guy, and it and people are saying that it's a lynching. He has three people holding him down. Three people. Joan Garcia, a New Yorker, says we New Yorkers are discovering that Mayor Adams is doing a bait and switch. So, do you think that he actually is? And there's nothing wrong with him being a conservative, but do you think he's like a closeted Republican? Because that's what it seems like to me. Like he's a closeted Republican. Let me see. Eric Adams is downplaying all these incidents in New York City because he's trying to woo the um World Cup. Okay. Okay, that'll do it. That will do it. Okay. Gotcha. Let me see. Joyce Bo says if he is downplaying incidents, he is not good mayor. Let me see. He wants to keep the police on his side. Yeah, there's that. There's that. They want to keep the police and the fire unions. They always want to keep them on their side. Let me see. Here is a practitioner of that blue line way of thinking. Yeah, yeah. The thin blue line. You don't cross the police department. Um, right, wrong, or indifferent, the police are always right. Always right. Let me see. LDSW says New Jersey and New York City are bidding to host, oh, yeah, the FIFA World Cup, which is why the New York City mayor is downplaying anything that reeks of dangerous people and incidents. Yeah. And it's for a while. Oh yeah, and that's probably why that taxi driver was like, "Nah, yeah, New York is safe. Every place is safe until something happens. Something's always gonna happen anywhere. I mean, you hope it doesn't, but if you live in a big city, something happens. If you live in a small city, something happens. Ugh, make it make sense." Okay. Let me see. Joan Garcia says, frankly, I don't know what Mayor Adams is these days. He talked a different game to get elected. Yeah. And and he is a talker. Nothing wrong with that, but he is a talker. And it seems like when they asked him about the Sussexes, he didn't have enough information, but he was just winging it. And well, we all know what happened. He said what he said. And when that came out, it seemed to give talking points to the tabloids, to the right wing, to the haters. And I'm just really bothered by that. So I'm like particularly sensitive about situations where you give aid and comfort to the enemy. And I don't suppose he did that deliberately, but it was just, I don't know, it's just like with the taxi driver laughing. It's hard for me to understand, although I do get, people get nervous and laugh. and it seems inappropriate. It doesn't really speak to the core of who they are. It's just a nervous laughter. So the taxi driver irritated me to no end with that. And then, of course, Eric Adams, he wants the World Cup. He wants to be reelected and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I get that. But I also see that you have given aid and comfort to the tabloids. And that is frustrating to me. So I do understand, but I also reserve the right to be extremely bothered and frustrated by that. Uh, and it's just like when the Sussexes went to um, Dusseldorf, and then the Queen died, and they couldn't get a break. And then Meghan wins this award. They have a big night out in New York. Her mother's there with her, one of the rare occasions where she's out with her mom. And then this happens. And enters Eric Adams. And another thing, I would find it hard to believe that there was a high speed chase in New York. And there goes days and days and days of endless um, insults. So, like I said, I reserve the right to be very frustrated with him. Yep, and that wasn't even the purpose of him being there, but somebody threw it out there. But, um, stuff happens. What could I say? I'm just frustrated. Speaking of stuff happens, I think that there needs to be some type of tribunal about airbrushing, about um, photoshopping. There comes a point where it just goes too far. The same thing happened with the images of the king and the queen consort before the coronation. And of course, it's happening here. How in the world does anybody Oh man. Let me see. Maybe the unaged one is her AI twin. Maybe. Maybe. But that is jarring. That is absolutely jarring. I'm shocked. So, but anyway, that's all I had to say about that. So, King Charles is furious at Princess Kate's Chelsea Flower show thunder stealing. This was a surprise visit, right? Although there was a bunch of cameras there. Well, now some people are speculating how could it be a surprise visit if she had a whole team of cameras? Well, they were planning on a royal visit, so there would have been cameras there anyway. So if you're going to, and I'm not saying that it wasn't preconceived and contrived and all that, but whatever the case is, she showed up and it seemed like she even annoyed some of the adults that were chaperoning the children or whatever they were, school teachers. It seemed like she even annoyed them. I don't know that anyone within that group of children and adults, I did not see any photos that would give you any inclination, any chance that they were glad to see her. It seemed like her appearance threw the day off for them. And there she is holding potted plants and flowers. She's on the ground having a picnic, leading the children of color by the hands, all those things. And then Charles and Camilla shows up. Oh, let me see. What does that say? The guys from TMZ narrates the accident with all the details. They even ask where you can have a high speed chase in Manhattan. They answered, yeah, FDR. Exactly. FDR. Oh man. That whole oh man, that all of that stuff that came out. Uh-oh, I did that. Um about the traffic and the chase and that was very very frustrating. Very frustrating. And I listened to Pedo speak about how that, you know, banter back and forth was so overwhelming. And it really was. It was exhausting. And hopefully, I want them to investigate it. And I want to know that these people are identified or whatever. And then after that, I don't ever want to think about it again. Like I said, just like with the Dusseldorf, as soon as they got done with Dusseldorf, then the queen died, and it was endless days of humiliation, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm like, okay, that's over with. That's never going to happen again. It kind of, they had pulled a little bit of that. It was a preview with the Jubilee, but not so bad. With the Jubilee, all they had was they got booed, which of course we know they were not booed. And then after they did that, of course, they sowed the seeds of destruction for William, Kate, Charles, and Camilla because they at some point they were all booed. The only people who were not booed was Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan, as a matter of fact, has never been booed before. Nobody has ever booed them. We've had hecklers, the same person, but they have not been booed. Whatever they say, that has not happened to them. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my allergies are playing up again. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. Fergie is using a filter because she has not looked like that in 20 years. The royal family is really, I'm not going to assume that she did that herself. Maybe someone else did it trying to sell tea or something, but I'm not going to assume she did that herself. But if she did, shame on her. I don't think she has much by way of humiliation, so I don't think she would insist upon it. Fatima says if she wanted any attention, she got that. But if she wanted positive attention, those beautiful kids just saw right through and wasn't having it. Here, here. Here, here. VS is here. Hey, VS. I wonder if an office set up another office to allow principals to show up at the same event. Huh. I think there is a war between the two households. I believe that because if you guys remember, there was no curtsy for Camilla, right? We have yet to see a curtsy. I don't know if Kate has ever done it for Camilla ever, but anything to do with the coronation, no, no curtsy, not at the concert, nothing. I believe that William is trying to set up his reign, his image, his he wants to get things started because maybe Charles is very sick and we don't know it, or maybe just because Charles is old and out of practicality, he is setting himself up to be king and very soon. Whatever the case may be, there's a conflict between the two houses. I am so sure of that. There's a conflict. And I think there's a lot of hostility. It was palpable during the coronation, and it continues now. So yeah, they're in trouble. Those, and just think about this. Even without the Sussexes, they don't get along. They could try to use Harry and Meghan as the common enemy, but even without Harry and Meghan, they still do not get along. And maybe Harry and Meghan was the ultimate distraction for problems that was already existing between the two households. Let me see. We have to move with that incident, Baron. We might never have the full truth. That's right. And because of the Sussexes won't against the New York City mayor, if there's no investigation, it means it's dead. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be an investigate. I wasn't even thinking about the city of New York investigating. I was thinking about lawyers looking into it. I was thinking about the idea that there's got to be some paper trail for whoever ordered those photos. And certainly we know who purchased them. And that, of course, is the Daily Fail and the Express. So if they were the ones that allegedly put a bounty out there to get those photos by hook or crook, then they ought to be dealt with. That's what I think, is that there may be the possibility of a lawsuit against whoever is responsible, and that includes the Express and the Daily Mail. But somebody paid for photos, and we only saw the photos in the taxi. We haven't seen any of the chase photos. We haven't seen what Harry has on his phone. And there may have been recordings from the other security, from the rest of the security detail. Now, because of Eric Adams, I am a little nervous about the presence of New York City police officers within the Sussex's security detail. And because somebody might put pressure on them to downplay or to alter their report, to omit certain items from the report. Somebody, I'm just saying, somebody may do that. And that's worrying to me, that somebody might actually try to affect the outcome of whatever investigation. And even if it's not investigated by the officials in New York City, there are lawyers that may want to, look at phone records, look at everything. And then, too, maybe the Sussexes just want to move on and forget about it. Who knows? Because it is quite triggering. But they have so much going on as it is. To pursue it is going to take a lot of time and a lot of resource, but it can be done. So we don't know whether we are going to have like an official investigation from New York or not, but there are lawyers. And I say that there's a strong case to be made against the people who purchased the photos that were posted and then removed. So very, very interesting. Thank you, Fatima. Okay. Palace usurpers have more authority than the monarchy. These vipers is to eat or be eaten. The Game of Thrones. Thank you, Chow. Let me see. Okay. Oh, he also wanted the Invictus game to come to New York, huh? That's interesting. Let me see. John Garcia Whoopi is now, is a know-it-all. Is that it? And don't bother with to fact check. She seems to be very negative about Meghan. She is a royalist. Huh. Interesting. I wouldn't doubt it though. Let me see. Last week, the NYPD was supposedly doing an investigation. They requested Prince Harry's cell phone video. The article I read also said that all of the video was being pulled from CCTV footage. Huh. Well, and I would also think too that even if they want to if the mayor or anybody else wants to downplay this, there's only so much downplaying you can do without, because if there is something from Harry's lawyers, right, or from the Sussex's lawyer, and we find out that there was an attempt to suppress it, that could prove embarrassing. So, you know, you could want to make it go away as a city official, even if it's the mayor. But it would be embarrassing if people found out that that's exactly what you did, was try to make it go away. So yeah, that could go, that could go either direction. And I think that making the wise choice is the smarter thing to do, because if you try to suppress that information and you get caught out doing that, then you'll be asking for trouble. So if that's what the intentions are, it's probably, I would say, they better think it through, because that would be damaging for the mayor, for New York City, and anybody else involved. That would be very, very embarrassing if they try to suppress that information and is found out. Huh, very interesting. But I'm so disappointed because I liked Eric Adams and I was expecting good things from him, but if this is the way he operates, I have to say I'm very disappointed. But he won't be the first person in that kind of position that downplayed something that could be embarrassing. So, I'm not angry with him. I'm just disappointed. So let me see here. Anyway, thank you, Lola Love. Okay. Seen here 1995 in Johannesburg Stadium, 2000 Wembley Stadium, London, and 5 nights in. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Seen. What is that about? Oh, you're talking about Tina Turner. That's what I thought. I'm sorry. I, I got lost for a second there. Oh, is she? Whoopi is a good friend of Charles, but she particularly hostile to Meghan. If the news about Prince Harry, she seems more sympathetic, or at least doesn't say anything. Yeah. Yeah. Whoopi is just so, I don't know how to put it. I'm trying to choose the words, but she's so impatient. She is so impatient, and she just blurts out. Um, she just blurts out things that I. It doesn't seem like she gives it much thought. She just throws it out there, and if you don't agree with her, so what? And that's fine. That's fine, but it doesn't ever seem to be much reasoning there. And I mean, that's why she keeps getting in trouble. That's why she keeps getting in trouble, because she just blurts stuff out as though people are wasting her time. And that's how she acts. She acts like people are just wasting her time. So let me just throw this out there so I can, get on the bus and go home. That is her temperament. Like everybody's wasting her time. She act like she's angry about the fact that she's on a talk show called The View, and then when you ask her point of view, she snaps at you. Well, if you don't want to talk, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Why are you so angry and you're on a talk show to talk about things, to give your opinion, but you never say what your opinion is? Is almost like she's winded trying to throw it out there so she can hurry up and move on to the next thing. Yeah, she just seems very impatient. Let me see here. Clarissa Montgomery, thank you, Baron, for all you do. Well, thank you very much for saying that. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for supporting Royal Sussex. Thank you, Clarissa, for saying those very, very kind words and supporting Royal Sussex. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let me see here. Okay, okay. Don't want to say that out loud, but okay. Don't want to say that one out loud, but okay. I'll just say okay. Uh, you know those Windsors, right? Let me see here. Baron Eric and I have the same birthday, so I was happy to get an invitation to a party for him until I realized it would cost me $125. Really? Okay, well, how does that celebrate your birthday and his if you have to pay and he probably doesn't? That's interesting. And what happens to the money? Please tell me it was a good cause, right? Let me see. Whoopi is a disappointment. Amen to that, Deborah Robinson. And I don't know. I hate to say it's time for her to retire, but you know what, guys? When Barbara Walters, this esteemed journalist, this very, I guess, the best example, the best of the best. Some people would even say she was the GOAT. I was so disappointed with Barbara Walters before she died, before she retired from public view. I was so disappointed with her. When she did that interview with the pregnant man, I said, "Oh my God, Barbara, what is you doing? What is you doing, Barbara?" I thought that was so silly because they hyped it like it was some kind of medical miracle instead of someone who had transitioned deciding to have a baby. And I just thought I was like, why is this? Why are you putting these people on this big platform as though this is like some medical anomaly that has never happened before? Or that they never, from the previews, there was never any indication as to how it happened. You were supposed to, I thought it was just being very voyeuristic. I was so disappointed with her. A lot of the interviews that Barbara Walters were doing, trying to stay relevant, just made her look bad, And I was thinking, Barbara, you should have retired a long time ago. But no, she stayed and she kept doing these, special interviews and stuff. And this is a woman who interviewed presidents and dictators and everybody in between. And and now the magnet man, the Wegnet man, you know how she would talk. And I'm just like, this is just awful. I was embarrassed for Barbara Walters. I was truly embarrassed. And now I'm embarrassed for Whoopi. There are days when I am embarrassed for Joy Mayer. I'm embarrassed. Joy from time to time say some really weird stuff. So I don't know. I hope that when I get to that point, if I'm not there already, that somebody will have the conversation with me, because it's sad to see someone who's not with it anymore, struggling to be who they were instead of who they are. That is sad. That is sad. So I think Whoopi is going to go out the same way Barbara did, and that's one embarrassment after the other. Let me see. Whoopi is vile and I can't stand her. She hates on Megan as often as she can. She has never been the kind of woman to give a leg up to other women. Uh, really, I didn't know that. I did not know that. She's a has been. I'm thinking about it and I'm trying to think, when has she ever been like a mentor that I know of to other women, especially like with an actor's workshop or something like that. And I can't think of an incident. And I even remember when they did when they had what was it, the Sister Act. When Sister Act went to Broadway, she was kind of salty about it. You would think that, and I know, I think she had something to do with the production of it, but she seemed to be in an adversarial disposition toward the person who played her role, as though you either do it like I would do it or don't do it at all. And I thought that was strange. But I guess now that you mention it, I'm gonna have to give it some thought. I'm not gonna say absolutely I agree with that, but I'm gonna tell you, in this moment when I think about it, she doesn't seem to, in my memory, be the person that would help other women. Wow, that's deep. I didn't notice it, but I'm gonna give it some thought. I hope that's not the case, because it just seems like, especially when some Megan is young enough to be Whoopi's child. Why is you giving this girl a hard time? She could be your daughter. That by itself seems terrible. That is tacky. That is tacky. So wow, you know what? I didn't think about that, and I promise you, I'm just like, I'm literally looking up at the sky trying to figure out, does she ever help any does she ever help anybody? Boy, I tell you, once you've had your eyes open, let me see here. LDSW says about the New York City chase, Prince Harry could be the target for witness intimidation and obstruction if photographers don't cooperate with lawsuit against British media. This also happened to Omid Scobie after he testified. Yes, LDSW. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That is what I was trying to say in so many words, is that if anyone is interfering with an investigation or have been found trying to obstruct, they may find themselves, and that includes the mayor, they will find themselves in trouble. And any lawyer that has, is witnessing these events unfold. I mean, let's face it, New York City is full of lawyers. LA is full of lawyers. Um, Megan's lawyer from Beverly Hills, the one that helped them put together their financial holdings and stuff like that. I mean, she's had this lawyer for years. Even if the lawyers they have don't know, they can find someone, refer someone who does know. So there is a lot there to work with. And this is something we may not hear anything significant about it for a year. But trust me, when we hear about it, there's going to be a lot to be said. Definitely a lot to be said. Let me see here. Whoopi is a very bitter woman. She seems so full of anger. I bet that is. She has an issue. She is known for putting other women down. You guys, I'm okay, and I believe you. What is it? Yalibi Nunez Dario. Oh, that's a beautiful name. Um, I believe you. I just didn't notice it before. And so I knew she was grouchy, okay? I knew she was kind of grouchy. And I know she's kind of short with people. She just, like I said, she blurts things out as though somebody's annoying her at all the time. But as far as the lack of sisterhood, I didn't really notice that. But like I said, I will have my eyes open, and I at some point, I suppose I'm going to go, aha, that's what they're talking about. Okay, okay, because yeah, I haven't paid attention to her for quite some time, and I became disenchanted with the View. And as I told you guys, a lot of these talk shows are so performative. It is theater. It is like a puppet show, and you don't really get much satisfaction. Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't get much satisfaction out of those types of things because I feel as though they string you along, and they'll like have a panelist that will play up to your emotions while the rest of them are undermining and gaslighting all at the same time. And so you don't really get any place. You don't have any resolution. And a lot of it is just theatrics. It's no real agenda to get to the truth. It is to keep you angry and engaged until the next show and the next show and the next show. And I tuned after Trump got in the White House. I tuned a lot of those things out for the sake of my own mental health and well being. I hated the feeling of despair that I was left with. And as far as I was concerned, everyone in broadcast media helped Donald Trump get into office. Anybody who invited him on the show, anybody who invited Kellyanne Conway, like what's his name, Bill Maher. I blame Bill Maher. Kellyanne Conway could sit there and lie and lie and lie, unchallenged, unchallenged. So yeah, I tuned a lot of that stuff out. Thank you so much for your comment. Okay, ooh, a lot of comments. Let me see here. Oh, yes, yes, no problem with that. Meredith Constant. As a matter of fact, we have mentioned both Meredith Constant and Claudia Bolin. Channels also have given excellent analysis of what's going on lately. Absolutely. So yeah, please do. And I hope you guys are supporting those channels because it is, they have the credentials, both of them, to really pick these things apart. And as Meredith Constant said, I'm not a royal expert. And she said she studied journalism, something. And so she knows the ploys that are happening. And, I struggle to articulate what I'm seeing and what I have noticed, but Meredith, she literally has done graphs about these things. And it's just so much easier to understand like that. So yeah, I do recommend both of them. They are excellent. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Let me see here. Okay. I'm going to take one last Whoopi here. I think Whoopi was not too bad till she started commenting on Duchess Meghan. I just think she just does not like Meghan. Why? I can't explain. Jealousy? Who knows? Yeah, bitter. Bitter is a good word. She seems to be very bitter, and I try to avoid angry people. I hate I hate being. It's like um, it's a real buzzkill. I hate to be around angry people. It's exhausting. So um, yeah, and I think that okay, there you go. That's what I have to say about Whoopi. Buzzkill. She's a buzzkill, and I have tuned in to different things, hoping that they'll have something good or enlightening to say about the Sussexes, only for them to be just as vitriolic and insulting as the last person. And then after that, I'm done. I'm done. So it's like with the Today Show. Every so often, against my better judgment, I'll say, okay, let me see. They got something on the Today Show, only to find out that it's just as awful as the last time. So, um, silly me for being so optimistic. So, thank you so much. Let me go here. Let me see here. Alicia Sykes, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching and being a member of Royal Sussex. Very, very important. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let me see here. Okay. I already changed it, didn't I? Is Charles being forced to rein in Kate's shadow? Um, Royal Insider fear Princess of Wales visit to Chelsea Flower Show overshadowed that by the King and the Queen. Let me see. Did I do that one? Yeah. Okay. So that's just continuing from the last one. But yeah, so she did. And like I said, I think the Windsors are at war and that there's going to be more of that. William, in spite of the fact that William has proved to be tolerant of Camilla's presence, I don't suppose he cares much for Camilla. And nothing has made that clearer than the fact that, and you know what? I just noticed too, you never see Kate doing anything with Camilla. You know what I mean? Um, they never go out together. Like Kate did that one thing with Afro Annie, and that's the only one that I know of. But I don't think we'll ever see Kate and Camilla out and about together. So I think the war is on, and who knows? Chances are, Camilla has said or done something behind Kate's back, and and has probably caused problems for her. Knowing Camilla, she did something. No sympathy, but she did something. So here is yet another one of those images of children trying to avoid engaging with that scary lady with that rather plastic look on her face. And even the canines, even the canines lean away from her. Did you notice that? Even the canines lean away from her. And you know, they say that if the dogs don't like you, and maybe that's why she doesn't get along with Camilla, but even the canines are leaning away. Interesting. Now, take a look here. Pomp and pageantry at the public expense while Charles sit on a vast multi-million pound fortune is a certain, oh no, sure. Let me see. I think it's sure. Yeah, it is. Sure way to drum up Republican support. The king should be careful. And it is true that after the coronation, I believe the number of people in the movement doubled, but not because of the cost of the coronation, but because of the way they harassed the people with those yellow and black placards at the coronation. um, when they arrested those people, when they harassed those people, it actually drummed up support for the cause. And so, if I'm correct, I believe that Graham Smith said their numbers have doubled. Also, if you notice the figures there, the Queen's funeral, 161.7 million pounds. That's not true. The coronation, 250 million pounds. There were 6,000 soldiers in central London, right? Um, there was a free concert at Windsor Castle. I'm just going to say 250 million pounds does not seem enough. I'm just going to say that. If the Queen's funeral cost 161, I find it hard to believe that the coronation cost a mere 100 million pounds more or 99 million pounds more. So I'm not buying that. And plus, it's a nice round number. It's not a point 0.6, not a point 0.2, just 250 million. Uh, uh-uh. And of course, if you look at Philip's funeral, 2.1 million pounds. Perfect. Beatrice's wedding, zero. There was no anything. They had it at a private church, and that was it. 2 million for Eugenie, and that's the cost of security. Now that one, I believe that is the cost of security, but otherwise, I believe the Yorks paid for it. And of course, you can see the price of the Sussex wedding, the other people, Diana's funeral, and Charles' wedding. And of course, you have to adjust for inflation. Excuse me. You have to adjust for inflation. And I wonder if that's what the bottom cost is. You see how they got the two? Oh, yeah, I could barely see it. It says adjusted for inflation. Exactly. So there you go. You know, my theory about that is when someone who has been accused of being racist goes out of their way to take photos with children of color, black children, black people, people of color, I don't think that they're trying to gain support from a particular demographic, demographical. Well, okay, no, that's wrong. Let me just say it. I don't think they're trying to get more respect from black people. I don't think they're trying to get more respect from, South Asian people. I don't think that's the point. The point is to make sure that you, as a white British person who finds that there may be some validity to this charge of racism, they don't want to lose your support. And so, in order to keep the support of the, let's say, I'm gonna call them Brexiteers, of the Brexiter people, the Brexit people, and like MAGA people, in order to keep their support, it gives them the opportunity to say, see, they're not racist. Look at them, all those black people at this event. Look at the black people at that event. They're not racist. So it's not black people that they're appealing to, is white people that they need to continue um, feeling relevant because they have their support. They need to keep those people engaged. And so there are some people who will lose interest if they suspect that they are indeed racist. And so, in order to maintain a higher poll rating, they have to keep those people engaged by seemingly showing that they're not a very racist family. That's what I believe. And I believe that's why Donald Trump struggled so much to keep Black people around, not because he likes Black people, but because that proved that he's really not so bad. And so the more, centrist, middle of the road people, that support will not be eroded because of your lack of interest in Black people. So you got to keep them around. And it's a disproportionate amount of Black representation, I believe, at certain events because, based on the percentage of the population, let's say in the United States, if that figure is correct, Black people are what, 14% of the population? Whatever percentage of the population, if you have like 30% Black people around you at all times, or as a total for like a given period of time, then that means to me that you are going overboard to keep that representation around, not for Black people, but for white people, so they won't lose interest, so they won't neglect, so they won't step away, they won't get turned off from you. So that's what I think, is that it's not for me, it's for them. I don't think it's ever about what Black people think. It's about white people who may be inclined to, uh, that may get turned off by them. So that is what I think. And that is why every time you see anyone who's accused of being racist, anytime they get in trouble, the first thing they do is run to Black people. Even if it ain't about racism, they run to Black people. They feel some type of way about being around Black people. I've always found that fascinating. As soon as they get in trouble, oh, are there any Black people around? Are there any Black people around? Somebody get somebody Black in here. That is what I believe, is that they run to Black people so they won't look so racist. Let me see here. What is that? Let me see here. Corinna says, Baron, I hope I'm around to see Prince George and Louis marry a Black girl. Oh, because I could see it coming. And you know what? Because is not Meghan, I got a feeling that by then they're going to be okay with it. Maybe. I just think that they will find some way. It'll be a Candace Owens. That's what I'm trying to say. They'll make sure it's a Candace Owens. The way they made sure it was a Condoleezza Rice, they'll make sure it's a Candace Owens. Yeah. It can't just be any Black person, that's for sure. It has to be someone like what's the guy that's running for president, the senator? The one who just announced yesterday. I don't even know his name, but so he's running for president, and the conservatives. I mean, I've even seen a photo of someone patting him on his head. He reminds me of that movie Get Out in the worst possible way. Oh man, ooh. It's like Clarence Thomas has a twin in the United States Senate. Tim Scott, thank you so much. That's it, Tim Scott. Oh, that man. Okay, so you guys, this is the Isle of Scilly. I think that's right. Are just a short stop from the mainland UK and boasts desirable microclimate. Tranquil British island owned by Prince William, which he visits with Kate and kids. Matter of fact, they went there last year, and I think they went before the Queen died. Probably, ordering furniture and stuff. Let me see here. Britain's very own slice of paradise is only an hour by plane with subtropical plants and dozens of sightseeing opportunities buried within a sleepy and unspoiled landscape. So, just to give you guys some reference, take a look at the map, right? That is Sealy, right? And if you look at the red square, that is Cornwall. So Cornwall, now that is Prince William's Duchy of Cornwall. Imagine inheriting a big piece of Britain. So that is the Duchy of Cornwall, or the cash cow for the Prince of Wales. And then that little speck you see off the coast of Cornwall, that's Sealy Islands, the Isles of Sealy. So William has inherited that. What a birthright. What a birthright. Who inherits that much real estate? Wonder how many hectares, how many acres that is, but who owns that much real estate? Wow. And that's just the real estate, that's just the land. They also own property in central London and all that kind of stuff. The Duchy of Cornwall is a multi-billion-dollar portfolio. Multi-billion-dollar. Silly is pronounced silly. The Isle of Scilly. Okay. That's the Isle of Scilly. Thank you. I thought it was Sealy, but it's silly. Okay. The Isle of Scilly. Well, anyway, that's Williams. Thank you very much for that, Elaine Parker. And now you guys, I have a little sound bite for you. This is that kid that I told you guys about. He is such a disappointment. As an African American man who has had to endure racial profiling, racism, prejudice, um, as the expression goes, you make it bad for everybody else. Dr. Shola says the auntie in me wants to smack him upside his head. What the hell is you thinking? Nothing funny or good about his so called pranks, just plain wrong. Does Mizzy not understand the danger he places himself in? And then further down, she says, entering people's home, businesses, etc., without consent and violating personal space is not a prank. It's not funny. For heaven's sakes, it makes me feel they are in potential danger. It makes them feel they're in potential danger and uncomfortable, just plain wrong. Setting himself up to be arrested at 18. Ugh, for what? So, teenager charged over TikTok prankster video of people walking into homes to appear in court. Bakari Bronze Ogaro, 18, known on TikTok as Mizzy, is charged with failing to comply with community protections notice. Um, he has got to stop doing this. But I want you to hear what Dr. Shola has said, and then I want you to hear from him. Okay, I have both. So this is Dr. Shola.
First time I saw a video by this young man, Bakari Bronze Ogaro, also known as Missy, was a short while ago. He walked into someone's home. It was clearly trespass. There was nothing funny about it. And I thought, what a stupid thing to do, right? Putting the homeowner in danger as well. And then I saw another video just in passing. It was the first few seconds I caught because I was really irritated. I thought, this is nonsense. It looked like two people were trying to avoid him and they walked into a business establishment and he followed them in. And I thought, again, this is not funny. I thought this stupid boy is going to get himself into trouble. And I find out today that he has been arrested and charged. Why will he not be arrested? And when I tweeted about it, I now find out that he has a wide number of videos doing incredibly vile things in the name of pranking. No, that's not pranking. It's not funny. But it was this video of him touching a girl's hair. He touched a person and then following up with, "Do you want to die?" That cinched it for me. This is not a prankster. This is not someone trying to prank people into scare. He's not even attempting to make them afraid. He's intentionally making them afraid. That is reprehensible. Then I see this article where he claims that the outrage against him is because he's a black male doing these things. What nonsense. This is not what racial injustice looks like. No. Did you not know you were black when you were committing this act? And if you have the intelligence and presence of mind to understand what being black can be in a criminal justice system, why would you place yourself in it? Now, there are going to be people that say, well, he's 18, he's young. Now, at 18, he knows right from wrong, and he chose wrong. He knows funny from fear, and he chose fear. There are going to be other people that will go, well, what he did is not really bad. No. Placing people in an emotional and psychological fear is bad. It is reprehensible. And heaven knows what he triggered in them. So I need Missy to understand that the outrage against you is because what you did is an outrage. Now you've been arrested and you're going to be going through some things because there are consequences for actions. But you know what? At 18, you have the opportunity to turn your life around. So I hope to God you do that.
So that is what Dr. Shola had to say about it. Like I said, this has been bothering me because it plays on people's anxiety. It plays on people's fear. And with everything that has been going on in the world, you are giving talking points to the enemy. You are giving talking points to the most racist people that want to look at you as a young black man and say, see what I mean? And that's scary. Let me see. Andrew Bodie, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here on Royal Sussex. Let me see. And then, of course, I want you to hear his voice. I want you to hear his voice. Now, I showed you the other day. By the way, Dr. Shola says, you are clearly a product of your upbringing. What a staggeringly racist thing to say. What is that? Pathologic. Oh, you know what that is. Black kids and families with assumptions of guilt and presumptions of violence. Bad upbringing is racist. As annoyed as I am with Mizzy, he did well not to tolerate Pierce Morgan. So I only have a small bit of it, but Pierce Morgan, and this is what I just said about playing into those stereotypes. Pierce Morgan said exactly.
Tell me about your life. What justifies this? What's happened to you that makes you think you're justified in doing this?
What do you mean, tell me about my life?
Well, you said you know nothing about your life. Tell me about your life.
Because I'm trying to get onto you because I'm black. Because I guarantee
because you're black.
Person, yeah, I guarantee.
I don't give a damn about your skin color.
Really?
No. Why would I care what color your skin is? Really? I just think you're an idiot.
Oh, thank you. I think you're an idiot too.
That's fine. You're perfectly entitled to.
Yeah. So are you.
So this show's called Uncensored. I think you're an idiot for what you've been doing. Okay. I also think you're an idiot for playing the race card when no one's mentioned your skin color.
Really? Okay, you don't have to mention it to...
I don't care about your skin color, Izzy. I care about the fact that you've been terrorizing all these people for a sustained period of time. I also care about the fact you've only got a tiny fine today, no deterrent to you whatsoever. You don't show any real remorse. You don't really care, do you?
The UK laws are weak, simple as. And that's not, the UK laws are weak, simple as, and that's not my fault.
He says the UK laws are weak, and that's not my fault. Let me see here. Wait, is that the one?
Their door, right? But it's not your house. You're not supposed to be in there.
Oh, no shit.
You are causing a lot of alarm to that poor woman and to her children who are in the house. You then terrorize this poor elderly woman and take a dog away and traumatize her.
For the story about that,
hang on.
Let me speak. Yeah, because no. Let me speak.
I'm going to tell you.
Let me talk about that situation.
For the viewers who wait a minute. For the viewers who don't know what you've done.
Hold up.
I'm going to tell
Hold
them.
up.
So you hold on.
Me right now.
No, you can hold on.
Right now.
I'm explaining.
Know what's been happening.
Don't just keep talking like an idiot.
Right.
Don't. Let me finish what the viewers don't know you did. You go up and you do these things. You take a dog from an elderly woman. You leapfrog over the top of an Orthodox Jewish man standing at the side of the road minding his own business. You go up to women in the street and say, do you want to die?
It wasn't a woman, it was a man. And she
There were also women that you did this to.
There was a woman there, but I only say it to the man.
Right. You shouldn't be saying it to anybody.
Fair enough. Then.
Why, in the name of so-called prankster humor, why cause so much alarm and distress to so many people? Do you get your kicks out of doing that?
Not necessarily, but you can say that this whole public outroar just makes me laugh because people are getting hurt over something that didn't happen to them. And that's how I see it as.
What do you mean?
Oh, anyway, you guys, he needs to stop doing this. He needs to stop. And you know what? I didn't have the sound bite that I wanted where Piers Morgan said something about his upbringing. And that's when he got outraged. Now, Piers Morgan has said, you talk like an idiot. He has nothing to, he's like, fair point. But when Piers Morgan asked him about his upbringing, then all of a sudden it got personal to him. But I keep seeing his videos popping up, and Piers Morgan is using his stupidity to monetize his show, to bring ratings to his show. And I guarantee you, Piers Morgan is going to get a rating boost. He has been terrorizing people. And as much as we are struggling as Black people to be in spaces where people are not trying to find, faults and such, or not crossing the street to get away from us, then you have these videos that are showing, it's very frustrating, and I wish he would stop doing it. So finally, he's been arrested. I don't know what comes after that, but it's very bizarre to walk up to people and say the things that he says. He's petting this old woman's dog, and then he runs up the street with it. And yeah, it's something to behold. It's actually stressful to even watch the videos. That's stressful. Let me see. Yeah, I don't like the prank videos. I don't like the prank videos. Most of them are I just saw a prank video where the guy puts his thumb over the peephole so that his girlfriend could not see him. And then he's knocking on the door and she's like, I'm going to call 911. I'm going to call 911. And then he takes his key and unlatches the door and goes into the apartment. That could have ended really badly. And that if she's still with him, then there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with him for doing it. And there's something wrong with her if she stays with him. Because if you stay with him, then you're telling him that that's okay. And it's not okay. That stuff should never happen. Yeah, like I said, it's a boost for Piers Morgan. It is a boost for Pierce Morgan. Win-win for him. Okay, so all hail the side chick, the unsung hero finally getting her due. She may be second in his eyes, but she's number one. She's number one for us. The Rolling Stone, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me pull it down here. Rolling Stone has an article about the side chicks. In the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita, there is a plaintive number sung by character known only as Mistress shortly after Ava, or Evita, shortly after Ava has taken her place in Juan Perón's affection. I don't expect my love affair to last for long. Never fool myself. That's my dreams will come true. The mistress bemoans, adding, all my words desert me, so anyone can hurt me, and they do. Is something in French of eternal side piece. What? Oh, let me see if I can get this. It's the cry du jour. Oh, there you go. It is the cry du jour of the eternal side piece, the woman who constantly invests her hopes and dreams in powerful, uncaring men and finds herself repeating the pattern over and over again, even as she is cast aside. And after serving this role, the mistress assumes her rightful place in the audience's imagination throughout the remainder of the show. She is never seen again. In a popular imagination, the side chick, the other woman trope, has personified by the forlorn mistress in Andrew Lloyd's musical Evita, is a wretched figure of consternation, a target of both our pity and what else? I don't know that word. And yet she seems to be having a bit of a redemptive moment these days, thanks to the confluence of both popular culture and real world factors. On last week's episode of Succession, Carrie, Zoe Winters, Logan Roy's mistress, assumes her rightful place next to his ex-wife in the front row of his funeral after being cast out in a very Evita-esque moment by the eternally inscrutable Mrs. Roy, Marcia Haynes Abbas. So I don't know anything about Succession, but I suppose that's the one where Kate Middleton was brought up. Anyway, it says reality perhaps been even more replete with instances of side chicks making good, with Lauren Sanchez, who was part of a much publicized 2018 affair with Jeff Bezos, managing to get a ring on it after the Amazon CEO proposed to her earlier this week. And in what perhaps is the ultimate example of a mistress playing chess rather than checkers, Camilla Parker Bowles was finally crowned queen following a near 50-year on and off again romance with Charles the Third. They put second, but it's the third, which famously continues while he was married to Princess Diana. They made it official in 2005. So that is the article that they have in the Rolling Stone, is celebrating, or at least acknowledging, the side chicks. How about that? Okay. And this right here, wow, I didn't think it was going to be so long today, but that appears to be the case. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay, there we go. That's what I need to do. Prince William is prone to tantrums, claims Kensington Palace staffer. I'm wondering if they're about to leak something, or if there's about to be some I don't know, something coming up. Why all of a sudden are we talking about Prince William's hostility? A former Kensington staffer has spilled on what the heir to the throne is really like behind the scenes and how Kate Middleton handles it. Why is this a topic? Why is this being brought up? We have so much information about William and his notorious fits of rage. Like, for instance, here, take a look at all of those headlines. Prince William is very angry at the Sussexes as the royal shifts to genuine combat mode. This is information that was leaked from Kensington Palace, which means that William signed off on it. There is no surprise about any of this. William is a shouter during heated quarrels with Kate Middleton. William does have a temper behind the scenes, but Duke open to public criticism. Something's coming. That's what I think. I think there's something coming down the pike, and that there is going to be some kind of article. Maybe they got a warning about it. Maybe there's a book coming out. Surely there's nobody that is going to take them to court because of some offense, because, as you know, you really can't sue the royals or take them to court for anything. I think they have an NDA, so that's not likely to happen. But it just seems like something is going to emerge, because otherwise I couldn't imagine why they want to make this an issue at this time. I mean, but sometimes Camilla Tominey, she'll sit there and just think of things out of the blue. Who else? Sarah Vine, she'll just think of things out of the blue. So it's not unheard of, but there is a long record of William's hostility. So unless somebody's coming out with something soon, I don't know why this is trending all of a sudden. Let me see here. I don't know. Or what if they have mutually agreed that they don't want to be together anymore, right? And so to get things started, accusations about his hostility, as opposed to, other things that could be said about him. Maybe that's what the game is. Instead of talking about his gardening prowess, maybe they are using this as an excuse to end things between them, allegedly, possibly, and considerably. I don't know. Makes you think, though, doesn't it? I mean, why else would they? It's in reference to how he feels about someone, like Prince William's fury at Tony Blair, or angry at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for insulting reaction to Queen's band. Kate Middleton shocked how furious Prince William was forced to protect harassed Duchess. See what I mean? It's always about other people. It makes him the victim. Someone has done something to him. So whatever they do, they can't make it personal, although they are saying that he's known to be that way. But when they make the case, it always has to be that he was trying to be the hero, and that's why he was so angry. Okay, and the best audiobook of 2023 so far. So there is a list of books. Harry is not numbered, although in the article, he was in the third position, which we all know. Spare is number one, audio, and of course, the printed book. Can you believe it's been almost halfway through 2023? Time sure flies when you're lost in the world of great stories. Today, let's make a moment to celebrate the incredible audiobooks that have graced our ears so far this year. And so Harry's is mentioned third in the article, but I don't think that's, maybe it was a third book for the year, although it was January 10th. I would think that it would be in the first place, but maybe not. But there were two other books ahead, but it was not rating the books. It's just, the favorite books. So I think that if they did it by the numbers, Spare would be number one. And we all know that. Okay. And lastly, these are Archetype. This is actually some artwork from people who enjoyed Archetypes. And I thought that was pretty cool that they, kind of like created something that could be used for the coming season of Archetypes. If Archetypes is indeed coming back, and I hope it does, then this would be a way to promote it. And with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you all so much. It was a wide range of topics today, or as Barbara Walters would say, it was a ride range of WAPICs today. Right. It was a ride range of rockets today. Oh, man. And about Whoopi Goldberg. I did maintain a period of mourning where I didn't make fun of Barbara Walters, just for the record. But if it's too soon, I do apologize. But let me see. Oh, boy, I tell you, all you got to do is say Whoopi Goldberg and the emotions come pouring out. Why does Whoopi hate the Sussexes? She has never had any positive thing to say about them. I don't know, Marianne Morris. Let me see. Coffee Bar says Prince William's short temper. He just can't minimize Prince Harry. Yay. He would love to do so, but even with all of the money that William has all of a sudden, yeah, and that's the other thing too. William needs to focus on the Duchy of Cornwall. Stop this vendetta against the Sussexes and focus on your duchy. Let me see here. Good night, Joseph Bernal. It is late, isn't it? Yeah, and thank you guys for, well, let me see. It ain't as bad as yesterday. I think yesterday I was only just getting started. I can't believe I've been on for 2.5 hours. I didn't even think I had that much material. What in the world do I talk about for 2 and 3 hours? Can somebody explain that to me? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I hate to be the person to make that call, but if you're listening, Whoopi, maybe it's that time. But one of the reasons why people don't retire, it's not just because they want to be relevant, but sometimes they are the sole breadwinner for multiple generations of the same household. Their parents, their children, and even their grandchildren. So everybody's dependent on that income. And then, sometimes people have those really big mortgages. There's the upkeep on their property or properties. And all of those things means that you don't really ever want to retire. So some people really just cannot. I think that, a lot of people would, a lot of celebrities would, but they just can't afford it. And in Whoopi's case, I think she's going to work until she can't work anymore. And from what we hear, she doesn't always get the best contract. Sometimes she just kind of takes something that, according to other people, she really ought to have been paid more for it. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying that is what some people have said, is that sometimes She doesn't get the full benefit of the work that she does, but she works constantly. So, what's that? I forgot to ask. Joy, was client's daughter able to help with the download? Is that for someone else or is that for me? What was a client? Huh. Okay. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe it's not for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's for someone else. Sorry about that. Let me see. Marshall says if Whoopi left the show, it would be the end of The View. It needs to go. Let me see. I'd like to see Sunny have her own show. Well, I think that for Sunny to really flourish, Sunny needs to have a podcast. Sunny needs to be away from corporate sponsorship because Sunny has a lot of things to say, but everyone on The View is restricted by the ad revenue. Much like myself, the ad revenue, if YouTube can't sell commercials, then they will not monetize your video. And so certain things that you say, you can lose the monetization for that video. And also, if it continues, you may not be monetized at all. And it's the same with copyright. It's only so many hits that they'll let you have before they pull the plug on you. So, so Sunny would benefit from having a space like Joe Rogan. She would really benefit in having a space where she's not accountable to corporate sponsorship. Don't know if that would ever happen. Sometimes when we want people to have their own show, we find out that it doesn't last long. So I think Sunny would do very well, but a lot of it really depends on the guests that you have. Let me see. Prince William considered Prince Harry inferior, like a second or third cousin, since Prince Harry got out of prison family. Prison family. Now William has no choice but to see Harry as a rival, and Harry won. Yeah, not an equal, a rival, and I would say even superior to William, because Harry is very intelligent, very clever, very hardworking. And everything that Harry is, William certainly is not. And that's just a fact. William is not hardworking. William delegates a lot of things. And I think that's one reason why he gets in trouble, because rather than facing any type of adversity, he has people take care of it, which is, in some ways, I would say Charles is very much the same. So on one hand, I always want to give Charles credit for the Prince's Trust. But on the other hand, I always wonder how much of that. Oh, why do I have a blank screen up here? I do apologize. Let me put something up there. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Okay. Oh, really? I knew she was a lawyer, but a federal prosecutor. That's impressive. Oh, so she done seen some stuff. Let me see. They will not put Tiffany on The View. Her and Sunny are good friends. Oh, yeah. Tiffany would be very good, I think. Yeah. They're afraid of Tiffany because Tiffany is very, very sure of herself, and much like Sunny, right? But I don't think they could take two of them. I don't think they could take two of them. I think they would get nervous about having two very strong, intelligent women that happen to be women of color. I think they would panic about that. Let me see. LDSW says, I'm scratching my head over Whoopi Goldberg. She also has a biracial daughter with ex-husband Alvin Martin. He was a drug counselor when met Whoopi as a teen, and she dealt with drug addiction issues. Yes. Like I said, she just seems very, very grouchy and impatient. And it always appears that somebody is just wasting her time. And just like when she made that remarks that got her in trouble with the Anti-Defamation League, or Jewish people in particular, I think I understood what she was saying, but even I have always known from the information that I'd had that the Germans, the Nazis, should I say, the Nazis considered Jewish people as a race, not just a religion. And so when Whoopi Goldberg said, "Oh, it was just about man's callous inhumanity to mankind," the way she put it was way too flippant. I don't think she meant it like that, but it was her famous, short answer that got her in a lot of trouble. So she said that you couldn't really tell a Jewish person from, let's say, the typical German person. Well, from the outside looking in, okay, that's probably true. But for, people, for German people and Jewish people living in a particular area, especially when where they live, where they shop and stuff like that, then they see it differently. So, I think I've always been told that people from Ghana tend to instantly recognize someone from Ghana compared to someone from Nigeria. That is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. And sometimes, even in the United States, we can kind of tell that somebody's from another region of the country through some very subtle cues that some people just don't pick up. So Whoopi just did not take that into account. She thought it was like a black and white thing, and that really showed a lack of insight. So she made herself look bad. Let me see. Okay. Hello, Lorna Murray. Let me see. Yeah, since she got in trouble about the remark. Yeah. Yeah. I long time ago, that when I was doing another thing years ago, I saw this family. I was in customer service, and this family walked up to me, and all of a sudden I was like, let me see, how do you say it in Italian? Buongiorno, I see the bella luna last night. And I don't know what told me that family was Italian, but then they started speaking Italian to me. And what was really cool about it is that my manager was there, and he's just like looking at me trying to figure out, how did I know that? Now, I'm sure it was something that I noticed that said, "Oh, they're Italian." And it wasn't that I heard them speaking to each other or whatever, because I was in a closed area, but it just happened. So sometimes you just know. So if I can discern something like that, then what Whoopi Goldberg said makes little or no sense. Everything's not just black and white like that. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Fatima says, I am Fulani. We are almost all over Africa, and I will recognize a Fulani from another country 75% of the time. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, it's not to say that anybody always gets it right, but I would just imagine that, I'm just saying, I'm imagining that most people that are German, whether they're Jewish and German or whether they're, you know, ethnically Caucasian and German, I would assume that most times they would know if that person was Jewish or not, compared to someone, you know, like myself. If I just went to Germany back in those days, I probably wouldn't notice the difference. They all speak German. I don't know. So yeah, it really showed that Whoopi Goldberg, I think she's a very intelligent person, but that didn't look too bright. That didn't look too bright for her. Sugar Plum says, I'm not sure why, if the View is even on here anymore. Can't be sure because I rarely watch commercial TV. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't watch it. I don't know what other people get out of it, but I can't watch it. I can't do it. I get too frustrated. I get too frustrated. So, okay. Well, you guys, thank you very much. I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, we're going on 3 hours. What gives tonight? Let me see here. I can sense a white-looking mixed person from the, what is that? From the off? You know, I don't know if, okay, when I first saw Megan, at the very least, I would have assumed that she wasn't, you know, that she wasn't just a white person. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have, no one would have had to tell me. But I don't know. I can't be for sure because I think I was told before anything. So, but I didn't know who she was. I didn't know anything about her. So, that's interesting. Well, anyway, that's your homework, you guys. You go ahead and try to figure out that thing because I don't know. I like to learn about people, and I always observe people, and so maybe I pick up on little subtle cues that I'm not even aware of. I notice things. So let me see. My father's family last name is Cohen. Jewish last name. I have researched this family back 300 years in Asheville, North Carolina. They were in South Carolina also. I have not found a white Jew among them. Interesting. I used to work with someone named Levy. And I was just like, and of course she was she's light skinned, and I always wondered if she had any Jewish ancestry. I remember one time I had met this guy. He had a very dark complexion, and someone had asked him his name, and he said Heidelberg. And I promise you, if there was some Heidelberg in him, you wouldn't know it. And I got so tickled, and I'm surprised this guy did not get angry. Well, he may have been annoyed with me, but I let out the biggest belly whopping laugh. I said, "Wait a minute, what's your name?" He said, "Heidelberg, man." I said, "Heidelberg?" said, Heidelberg. And he was like, yeah, really? Oh my God. I screamed. There was nothing about this young man that looked like he was a Heidelberg. Okay. He didn't look like a Heidelberg. He didn't look like um, Newberg. He didn't look like anybody's Berg. When he said Heidelberg, I screamed. I'm just saying, I did not see any Heidelberg in him. But that was his name. That was his name. So where the Heidelberg comes from, I guess I'll never know. But that was the funniest thing to me. Um, and now that I think of it, he was kind of pissed off with me because he's like, Heidelberg, man. And I was inconsolable. Let me say it to you like this. Do you guys remember how when Sugar Avery looked at Celie and they had to like carry her, to the door, and she looked at Celie? That was my reaction. Heidelberg. Oh, let me see. I'm Scottish. Do you want me to prove it? Here goes. Andrew, you're a sick old man. Disgusting. All right, Sean. All right. I can see the Scottish in you. It is evident. I don't know how I could have been so careless. And thank you for the super chat. Heidelberg, man. Heidelberg. I'm like, really? Oh, man. Oh, well. Okay, you guys, it has been almost 3 hours, and enjoyed the chat today. Let me see. Well, that would be interesting, Joy. I would like to see her do some curls. It would be nice to see her hair parted in some big curls. That would be interesting. Just for the flavor. But you know that the criticism that she would get would probably distract from other stuff. So as much as I would love to see that, I hope I don't see it, because it will break the internet. And there are going to be people who are going to make the most insane assertions about why she's doing that. So as much as I would love to see it, not at this time. Let me see here. Really? Okay. Thank you, Black Pearl. Edinburgh, Black Edinburgh, descended from Germany. Very cool. Well, I have a grandmother on my father's side that had a very Irish name. And yeah. So, and then too, when I look at my my DNA, there's a little bit of a little bit of Irish, and quite a few other little things in there. I think the weirdest one for me was what is that island country? Starts with an M, I think, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm like, oh no, not M. Is it Sardinia? Sardinia. Yeah, Sardinia. Yeah, for some reason, I have had a common ancestor in Sardinia. That is weird. But yeah, I think no, I'm like only a little Nigerian, and I think I don't remember. But anyway, like 71% sub-Saharan African. I think that's the way it works out. And that number may have changed a bit, because as they get more samples, they can break it down even further. So if you do have a DNA result, if you have another sample done, or if you go back and look at the existing sample, as they get more examples, then your DNA results may shift or vary just a little bit from the original, um, reading that you had. And that's just because the more people that take DNA tests, the more accurate the results will become over time. So that is why they change a bit. Fatima, once you said one time a woman told that Megan is not proud of her black side because she straightened her hair. I was at a salon with that straightened out hair. I asked if she knew what irony meant. Yeah. You know, honestly, for me, I think the whole hair is like an accessory for some people, and people don't care that that they're wearing a wig nowadays. They want a certain look, and they don't care who knows what's real and what's not. And everybody well, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. All races are wearing extensions these days and such. There's very few people that go without extensions. I think Megan would be one of those exceptions just because her hair is so thick. Whereas some people, yeah, their hair is long, but it's also very thin or very, So some people couldn't do that, go without the extensions to get the look they want. But I don't like being the hair police. I don't like to be the identification police. I don't want to tell someone that you don't have a right to identify this or that. That is way too complicated. That is way too complicated. And either you accept that person or you don't. But I don't think anybody should be telling them what they should wear and how. That's taking too much license. That's way too much authority. I'm not comfortable doing it, and I don't want anybody doing it to me. Yep, I don't want anybody doing it to me. So, let me see. Oh yeah, the Moors occupied Sardinia for 1,000 years. Thank you, Reba Henderson. Yeah, there was someone who had a video on the YouTube where I think she was of mixed race, and she said that a lot of people had animosity against the Italians because most of the Italians that came to the United States to immigrate were from the very southern part of Italy, where they tend to have darker skin and in some cases more ethnic features. And so they said that, like in certain parts of the South, that they had lumped them in with Black people, and that a lot of Italians were forced to live in African American communities because other places they could not rent unless they lived, amongst Black people. So that was interesting. I had never heard that before, but I'm always interested in how people exist in spaces that are not very welcoming, where there's a lot of racism and even religious intolerance. I'm always curious about that. So I find myself watching a lot of people talk about, like, the Black people that lived in Germany during the Holocaust. And I'm just like, there were Black people? Well, curiously enough, some of them were just ignored. They were too busy fighting the war to worry about the handful of black people. Now, some of them did go to concentration camps, but then some of them just pretty much lived in the shadows until the war was over. And I know of at least one case where it was said that there was a black man who worked on a German submarine. He was a cook on a German sub, of all things. A Nazi SS, whatever. He served in the German Navy during the Second World War. Now that shocked me. So, oh, okay. Let me see. That happened to the Irish and the UK too. Hence, a lot of relationships and children born as well. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on her to keep her hair straightened. Yeah, a lot of pressure to keep her hair straightened. Yeah, and I just, and it's too bad, but it could be so distracting. Like for instance, even for a man, if you're the president and you part your hair on this side instead of that side, it could make an entire news cycle. Obama puts on a tan suit, and it is disrespectful to the office of president. That is until they found a picture of Reagan wearing a tan suit. Sean says, Baron, I sent you a reel on Instagram. My account. Oh, okay. Now, I'm not that good with keeping up with the Instagrams. I have a bazillion of messages on there, but I will make sure that I take a look at it. Matter of fact, let me see if I can do it right now. Let me see. You sent me a message on Instagram. You know what? And I'm not that good with the Instagram menu. Oh, man. Let me see here. And California dreaming. All the leaves are brown and the skies are gray. California dreaming. Something, something day. Okay. I don't see it. You send it to Royal Sussex, huh? Because I don't see it. Oh, okay. I see. I have 11 requests. Wow. Nope, I don't see it. I don't see it. Sorry, Sean. Yeah, I don't see it. California dreaming, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I'll dig at it again later, though. Don't worry. Oh, you just sent it again now? Let's see. And you sent it to Royal Sussex, huh? Oh, wait. Yes, I see it. I see it. All right. Oh. Okay. I don't want to play the music though because it might be a copyright. Oh, Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you. I will. Oh, let me accept. There we go. I will definitely check it out. All right, you guys. It's still 1,106 people here. I appreciate it, but I'm going to say goodnight. Let me see. I don't know. The 10 suit, it was just the Republicans being hypercritical. I just think that all of that like sensationalism and being hypercritical, it has led to so much apathy and anger in our society, and it has effect on all of us mentally. And I don't know that there's a place for it, but for whatever reason, long as you can keep people angry, right? If you can keep people angry, you can keep their interests. Hate brings people together, sad to say, but it does. You would think it would be just the opposite, but all it takes is that one, you know what, starter to start the whispering campaign. And I think the British tabloid media, I just think they're a bunch of bullies. They are such bullies. I bet you those are all people that were bullied in grade school or high school. And now that they're, adults, they are striking back. They are lashing out at the world. And I think if they were not writing, if they were in America, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful or anything, but if they were in the U.S., they would be one of those people, if you understand what I'm saying, that would head to a mall or something like that and do something terrible. I really do believe that because they have so much hate in their hearts. I just don't know how people have that much hate. I don't understand that. But they have so much hate. And those are the same people that will patiently watch a lynch mob, if not participate. And yet those are our neighbors, those are our doctors, and those are our police officers, those are the clerks at the city hall. They're all those people. We live amongst them. Scary as that sounds. Let me see. It's not music. Oh, really? Okay, let me check it out. Okay. You can shove that coronation. Oh, man. Thank you for that, Sean. Oh, very cool. And thank you for the super chat. Okay. All right. I'm trying to clear y'all out of here, 1,070 people. Let me see here. Unless you want me to show the food truck video. That'll clear them out. Let me see here. Yeah, and the hate for themselves. There's got to be a lot of that too. Tribalism, that's a good one, Reva Henderson. Hate and tribalism is used to divide us, and people are so angry they do not see it being done to them. So true. Tribalism. Good word. Good word. Yeah. Well, I don't like to harbor hate. It takes too much energy. And like even after the thing in New York, I had to pull myself out of what I was feeling because I didn't want to be in that dark place. I could not exist like that. And I had to really focus on what was best for the Sussexes, what their reaction might be or what I hope it could be at that moment, because, how would we know? But that is the tool that I use to pull myself out of it. And I'm glad, because I didn't like the way I was feeling that next day. That was like taking too much of my energy, and I didn't want to give in to those evildoers. Let me see. Oh, man. Yeah, it would be nice to be at the end of a beautiful oak bar nursing on a whiskey sour. That's my favorite drink. I love a good whiskey sour. So good. Europe. Well, I mean, I was thinking about Spain today. I think about Spain a lot, actually. Love Spain. Spain was so beautiful. So, oh man. Yeah. You guys that are thinking about traveling, if you don't want to go to the UK, there's so many other places you can go. But I do have to recommend that if you want to go to the UK, that's okay too. Most people there do not condone what's been happening, but um, it it's been that way for so long that I don't think people feel like they have the power to change things. So um, I have a lot of fond memories of the UK. There's some places I would still like to visit. So and especially I would love to go back to Scotland. I didn't see enough of Scotland, but I would love to spend more time up there. I don't know why the days seem like they were longer in Scotland. It was like 10 o'clock at night and there was still like a hint of daylight. And I've never experienced that before I went to Scotland. Yeah, seems like the day was a lot longer there at that time of year than it was back in the US. I don't know, just seemed that way. Yeah, but Scotland is beautiful. And Edinburgh, oh, is so gothic and so medieval. And there's the old town and the new town. And the new town is as old as the United States Constitution, older. So that was really cool. I took the most amazing tour of Edinburgh, and I went to Bath, and I took an amazing tour of Bath. Bath is beautiful. Bath is like it's like well, it's like the Athens of the North. But then again, that's what they say about Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the Athens of the North. Lots of beautiful architecture. Okay, you guys, I am going to close it out. It has been over 3 hours. And as much as I am enjoying this banter, it is time to say goodbye. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and sing a song. It seems like we get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody. Oh, man. And good night to our queens, right? And our last word of the day is... oh, really? Okay. I wonder why is that? I thought that was so strange. Okay, our last word of the day is good night. Thank you very much. Such prolific words. I would struggle to come up with that myself. Yes, and Tina Turner. Yes, rest in peace, Tina. Let me see. Okay. And with that, you guys, I'm going to cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm so glad we had this time together. Are y'all on that stuff? Why is y'all still here? Y'all on that stuff, ain't you? Y'all don't know anybody named Gary Goldsmith, do you? Why is y'all still here? I knew y'all was on that stuff. I knew it. I said, you know what? They on that stuff. They on that stuff. And y'all still here. Please don't take my VCR and my microwave oven and sell it, because I think y'all on that stuff. My flat screen TV. Look, everybody's family got one. So anyway, all right. Oh man. Okay, y'all. Let me see. What you want? I'm not. I'm done. Callie Jen. I don't want to talk about anything else. Although I have been a little extra chatty tonight, but let me see here. Yeah, I think I'm good. I covered just about everything I could think of. Well, I still got a VCR because I still got like a mountain of cassette tapes, and I know I still have the one from Diana's wedding back in 1981. I don't even know if that tape is any good. I have not played it in years, but I still have it. I recorded it that morning. And if I recall, it was Peter Jennings and Barbara Walters that covered it. So I think I still have it. And the quality of the image is so poor. But, and what's so interesting is what we thought was great quality back in the day. You see it now, and it's like, God, how did we watch that? But yes, I'm afraid I still have a VCR. I may even have two of them because I had purchased them from the thrift store. I think they were like $8, and I'm just like, $8? I got all them tapes at home. So yeah, I think I may have two of them. Yeah, 1960. I don't know. Maybe I'm on that stuff. That's what it is. I'm probably on that stuff. I think I'm going to steal my own television and sell it. Okay. I'm going to say goodnight. Good night, you guys. Love you. See you next time.